Hello, my friends. How are you? It's Sunday, September, I think it's the 17th today. Yes, because I'm getting ready to leave for Uganda. And I wanted to get out just a quick little catch-up episode before I go, because it'll probably be a little bit before I do another sit down like this. So it's been a couple months. I hope everybody's well. I hope you had a nice summer. I had a nice chill summer, thank goodness. I didn't get out on the kayaks as much as I would have liked because the weather wasn't great. We had a lot of rain here in southern Ontario. Well, we're like southeastern Ontario, eastern Ontario, I think. We had a lot of rain, and the days it wasn't raining, I was either working or it was too windy. So in the end, I think I ended up going out 5 or 6 times. But I mean, it's still really nice out. I'll be gone for 2 weeks. We'll be back beginning like the 6th of October. I should still have a good month to go kayaking still. So let's get to the knitting content. I think I have mostly knitting. I have lots of finished objects in the past 3 months, but most of them have been gifted. So this is, I'm gonna start with this like post haste because I am really warm. In case you couldn't tell, I'm schwitzy. So this is the Badger in Bloom. It's the second version. If you remember in my last episode, I talked about having started this and I had a good chunk of the yoke done. But when I tried it on, the fabric was just too stiff. It was just too dense and it kind of rode up a little bit. So I ripped it all out and I started, actually, I think I got most of the body done of the first version and then I took it out. Anyway, so I re-knit the whole thing and I went up a needle size for the color work, and I'm really glad that I did that. I used the Plutolopi that I had left over from my 2 Gentle Lopi sweaters that I made last winter. So that's why it's marled. It's a black and a green mixed together. And this is it's a Canadian buffalo. It's the same type of unspun yarn, if you want to call it. Comes in plates as well. So I used all stash, which was great. So this is the Badger in Bloom. It's a pattern by Anne Fencel, and I'll link to it above, but regardless. So I'm just gonna stand up so you can see what it looks like here. Sorry, I'm going to work tonight, so I'm like in my uniform already. But this is the whole sweater. I kind of dig the sleeves. It's cozy. It's cozy. It's a bit itchy around the throat, but I think I'll probably get used to it in the winter. I'm warming up to it already. Had it on for a couple of minutes, but let's get rid of this because it's warm as Okay. Whew. That feels much better. So that was my first finished object. The second finished object I had was the Anchor sweater, and it's a petite knits pattern. I made it out of the drops. What's it called? Drops. I think I wrote it. Charisma, that I had ordered especially for this little sweater, and it's so cute. It was for a baby that wasn't born yet, so it was I made it in a neutral color. I'll link to it anyway, but isn't this just the cutest thing ever? It went by really quickly, but it was for the baby of a girl that I work with. They didn't know what they were having. Who does that anymore? I think it was kind of awesome. A lot of people were pressuring her to find out, but alas, they did not find out, and they had a baby boy. So congratulations, Erin and Owen. Like, I don't think they watched this, but anyway. The next thing I made was another petite knit pattern. It's the November Balaclava mini for a baby. I think it ended up being too big anyway, but check this out. How cute is this? Whoop-a-day. The iPad doesn't like me today. There we go. Isn't this cute? It was so fun to make. It's like a brioche fisherman's rib. I can't even remember. But it was really fun to make. And if you notice the details on this, it's all, what do you call that? the fancy cast on and bind off. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's like where you can't even tell that there's a bind off and a cast on, right? Anyway, loved making that. That is also for an upcoming baby for somebody from work. Andrew is a former dispatcher, so he did what I did, and now he's a police officer, but he's a gem. Love him. The next hat that I made, also I knit a lot for my coworkers in the last little bit. So Madison also loves to read. We all love to, there's a bunch of us that really love to read at work. And she gave me a bunch of books and she wouldn't let me pay her. She gave me like a lot of books, over 12 books. And I really wanted to pay her, but she wouldn't let me. So I'm like, I will make you anything you want. I would have made her a sweater if she wanted. But she picked this hat. It is the Rib Wilt Hat by Sweater Freak. And I used Sirdar Snuggly Cashmere Merino, which was kind of fun to knit. And I knit it really quickly while I was visiting Lorelei in the States. So I had some leftover yarn and I made the little headband. It's the, oh my goodness. I'm terrible today for names. I just really wanted to get a little episode out for you. I think it's the headband with a twist. I made tons of these last year. I'm trying to find one. Naturally, I can't because I'm looking. Anyway, it was a fun knit. The reason I blocked it this way is because it's all ribbed on the other side. Like the rib goes the other way, so it's knits and purls, but ridges instead of ribbing. And in the model in the photo wears it like with the vertical rib and the horizontal rib, and it kind of pulled a bit weird. But if you put it on like this with the vertical rib, holy moly, I needed more sleep today. With the vertical rib like in the front, then it kind of pulled in at the back and it made like a really nice slouch. So I really hope Madison likes this hat and that she actually wears it. Oh, let me go get the next one that I finished. All right. So the next, my next finished object, I'm going to turn this iPad off because it's like throwing a weird reflection up here. I'm finally finished the half and half triangle wrap. It's a Pearl Soho pattern. I think the pattern is free, but the yarn was definitely not, but I didn't pay for it because it's Lorelei's shawl that I knit for her because she doesn't like to do garter stitch. So it's finally finished. It's obviously a ginormous shawl. I still have to weave in the ends and block it, but do you really need to block something like this? It's almost like a blanket, right? So fold her up. Look how big this is, right? It's so cozy. I loved mine, so I didn't mind making this, but it's been a really long work in progress. I think I've been working on this. I know I was working on mine when my dad first got sick, when he was first in the hospital. Pretty sure I started this in May. So I worked on it pretty consistently, like between projects. So anyway, it's all finished. Lorelei, you have to come see me if you want to get this thing, because like you said, it's going to cost an arm and a leg to ship, right? Okay, what else do I have on the go? I had some rainbow socks that I finished last week, and this was with yarn that I bought out east in Halifax. My friend Leanne and I went for a little road trip to visit her sister in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. We drove through New Brunswick, but we actually drove, I'll talk about this at the end, about the trip. But I got this yarn. It's like so fun. It's sparkly. Sorry, you got the shadow from my phone. Still have to weave in my ends. I just finished it. I think I finished these on Friday at work. Yeah, anyway, just my regular, it's the pattern that I use is Nathan's, you know, the Sockmatician. It's toe-up socks with the really cool heel construction. So it looks like a heel flap and gusset, but it's made from the toe-up. So I love that. And I always do them 2 at a time on a long circular needle. So these are finished. They're kind of like a disaster. And because we leave for Uganda next weekend, I want to start anything big. Because, you know, sometimes you work on something, like a garment, and then when you put it aside and you come back to it weeks and weeks, maybe a month later, your tension's different, your mood is different, you forget where you were. So I just cast on a shawl. I pulled out some of my hand spun. I don't know if you remember me spinning this, and then I plied it. So I spun it. It's a single, and then I plied it with just white thread. So I made a kind of a boucle, and it's making a really, really smushy shawl, which I love. So I have had the boomerang. It's the hand spun boomerang shawl. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Let me see who wrote it, because it's super easy to memorize, and it's by Natasha, where'd it go? Natasha Sills. So thank you for this lovely free pattern. And oh boy. Anyway, so you see that like different patchy colors of yellow. So it's merino, Tessa silk, and something else. Sheesh. Where'd I go? It's laurel fiber, little laurel fiber. I'll link to it down below and you'll be able to see. So look at this. It's a garter. It's just plain, but it's gonna be, you know, a boomerang. It's kind of like the asymmetrical shawl. So once I block this, I suspect it'll grow because it's gonna be heavy and it's got some silk in there. So let's see. Just a general idea. Hopefully I won't pull my needles out, but not really my color. What do you think? It's not really my color, but it's not my color. I guess it's kind of a mustardy, but I figure with a black coat or something to take away from the yellow, it'll be nice. So I've also been putting a dent in my granny stripe blanket because I didn't really know what to cast on. So I just pulled that out and I've been working on it. I won't take that over here. I won't show you because it's way too huge. It's still not big enough for my bed though, but whatever. Gotta keep an eye on the time here because I have to leave for work in 20 minutes. I meal prep all the time. So I just literally go in the fridge and pull things out and put them in my lunchbox. So that's really good. Yeah. Past me always preps to make sure that future me is happy and less stressed out about food prep. So, upcoming projects. I don't know what I'm going to cast on when I get back. I'll probably work on some socks sorry, every time I lean on a table. While we're on our trip, I will probably cast on some socks just because they're easy to work on, right? Socks are always, they're small, they're portable. Our flights we have 4 layovers. So in case you don't know where Uganda is, it's like Central Africa. It's right on the equator. So we're flying Montreal, Toronto, Brussels in Belgium and Europe. And then from there, we're going to Kigali, which is in Rwanda, and then to Kampala. Well, it's Entebbe, which is just outside of the capital of Uganda. So it's going to be warm. I don't really want to work on anything big. Plus, we're going carry-on because all of the allotted luggage is for supplies that we're bringing over. So like glasses and toothpaste and soccer balls, some clothes. I don't know. We have like so much stuff we're bringing over, but we raised $9,000. So if you're one of those people who donated, thank you. We really appreciate it. It's going to be awesome. We've already sent over a bunch of money so we could buy some supplies, some goats. Bought some goats for some families. They've already been distributed. So I'll insert a picture here so you can see some of these. Pretty excited about that. I haven't seen my girls since 2019, since January, February 2019. So they're basically double the age they were the last time I saw them. So I can't wait to see them. We're going to bring them on some adventures with us. So we're going to be doing some work, but we're also going to be trying to do some fun things to kind of offset the heaviness of working in a third world country and bringing aid to people. So we're going to try and do some fun stuff, go see some waterfalls and go on a safari, and we'll bring the girls on a safari. We'll bring them back to the capital with us so they can see the big airplanes at the airport. So that'll be lovely. So my son's coming and one of my friends from work is coming, and then Roger. So here's a picture of our little gang here, but I'll put on we have a website. My son designed a website so that people could go see what our projects were about. So anyway, if you're interested, you can go have a look. Other than that, my summer has been kind of chill. I had a couple weeks off, the last week of July and the first week of August. And my friend Leanne and I went on a little road trip. She wanted to go see her sister, but she didn't want to go by herself. So I'm like, hey, if you can make it work during my holidays, I'm totally down to go with you. I didn't have any big plans because my trip to Uganda is costing enough money. So we decided we were going to go to Portland, Maine, which was so wonderful. I've never been to Portland before, and it was really great. Ate a lot of food, and we drank a lot of drinks. We walked a ton. I think we got sunburnt the first day we were there because it was warm and we were walking everywhere, and we wanted to go see lighthouses. So everybody, I love lighthouses. I am so addicted to lighthouses. I'm not sure why. I just find them so charming. So Leanne was totally down. We spent our whole trip trying to find lighthouses. We visited other things. We found a little yarn shop in Le Havre in Nova Scotia. I bought lots of fiber. Maybe I'll show that to you next time. I bought fiber so that I could blend on my drum carder. So eventually I'll get that done, but not today. So that's about it. We hooked up with her sister and her boyfriend. We spent some time with them. We visited around. We drove all over the place. We also went to see her friend Jenna in St. John. So yeah, it was a road trip. We were gone for a week. We had a blast. Totally would do it again. I'd never traveled with her before, and it went really well. You know, when you travel with somebody that you're not super, super close to, you never know how it's going to go, but it went swimmingly. So it was lovely. Other than that, I did some spinning this summer. I've renewed love of spinning, but now I have to knit with my hand spun, which is where the shawl came in, right? What else? I have been reading a ton. So I don't know if I mentioned in my last episode that I read a book. It was called Balance Your Hormones, Balance Your Life. And it talked a lot about nutrition. And from there, it kind of led to a whole bunch of other books. So I've read a ton of books on nutrition, food, supply chain, all that stuff. I'm interested, but I'm like, I don't want to eat anything at the grocery store now. So it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I've been doing most of my grocery shopping at the garden stands, the local garden stands. So that's been fun. Other than that, that's about it. It's going to be my birthday while we're gone. It is my birthday month. I'll be 47. Like, how is that even possible? I'm almost 50. No, it's not acceptable. I don't dig it. Anyway, so I'll be turning 47 on my trip. And then when we come back, Jacob will be turning 29. Yes, 29. So also insane. I'm almost 50 and I have an almost 30-year-old. I think that's it. I just wanted to get out a quick episode. I'm at 21 minutes. I'll probably edit out like 4 or 5 of those just because of my ranting. So I'm going to go off to work now. It's my last shift tonight. I hope it goes better than last night because last night was not awesome. Okay. Go make something. And I'll see you next time. Bye.